on hops. Today we're focusing on a brewery like we love to do, and today's brewery is Jack's Abbey. With me as always I have Dan and Alex. Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you, Alex.
Of course.
So the first beer that we're drinking here to get started off with Jack's Abbey, and actually before we get to this, if any listeners aren't aware of Jack's Abbey, it's a fantastic brewery that focuses on lagers, which is unusual for a craft brewery. A lot of them do ales with a few lagers, some split it equal, very few only work on lagers. So good to Jack's Abbey for doing that and just killing it in that space as well. Their beers are fantastic. So back to the first beer. It is House Lager, and it is a Helles beer. Of course, a lager, because everything they do is a lager. On the can, it actually says Golden Lager, but I don't know. Is Helles the same as Golden Lager, or is one like a colloquial term and one's a specific term?
I don't know. Like if there would actually be a Golden Lager as a style. I don't know. I'm just I'm getting a very German Pilsner character out of it.
Essentially, the Helles beer is pretty much the most common beer. I believe in Germany, it's the Golden Lager, which is literally it's pretty much its name.
Oh, that would say so, it right there then.
The Munich Helles serves as the most popular common beer in Germany. Helles denotes, a light, bright, blonde beer.
Sweet. As I was twisting the can too, on the other side that said Helles Landbier on it. So that makes sense then. Yeah,
I like
solid
big,
beer.
Robust, beautiful
stouts.
well
I
played.
like a little meat in
At
my
least
beer.
she's not a porter.
But I do like them bitter like an IPA sometimes.
See, an abrasive IPA. Slap to the face.
I would make an X joke, but I know she listens to this show, or I don't. Never mind. Strike that from the record.
No dice.
I do really like this though. It's extremely drinkable. It's a nice nice Pilsner malt in there, a little bit of floral hops. It's really nice. Creamy.
Yeah, creamy definitely creamy. Which not all lagers can capture, but this is creamy.
But it's still nice and crisp on the finish.
They are currently my favorite brewery going right now, by far. I see it.
Not just of lagers, just favorite brewery.
Favorite brewery, straightforward. There's something about them. It just makes it unique that everything is lagered. And I don't know of a beer from them that I have had that I didn't like in some way. And I was just on Untapped, and it was kind of upsetting because the thing that they compare it to, and we talked about this with our America episode, is, of course, I see the Bud Lights, the Coors Lights, and I'm like, but they put so much actual flavor into their beer. And love. Like, this is family right here.
It's not just a corn bomb.
No.
Yeah. And that is a good point, though. These Jack's Abbey beers are some of them at least, like House Lager, kind of a good intro beer if you're not that into craft beer or different styles, because it is the same style as like a Budweiser or...
Right, but it's just using craft beer ingredients, real ingredients for not adjuncts, like the macro brewers do. Yeah, by cheapening it by using adjuncts like corn,
cutting your costs
like that.
Good for you. You've made a product that has lasted decades, but I don't know.
At what cost?
It's lasted decades because they can undercut everyone and make it cheap enough that everyone's like, I'll take the cheap option for getting hammered.
I mean, there's nothing wrong occasionally with going with the 18-pack of Miller High Life that costs like $10?
It's so cheap.
It really is.
It's if you're looking to get drunk on beer, you can.
Don't do it with this though. This is not. Don't do it with this.
No, don't do it with this.
Are you saying that if you were at the bar and they said all we have is House Lager and you have to stay the entire night and drink it, that you wouldn't get hammered on it?
I wouldn't try to do it. I think if I'm stuck there all night, I think I just would end up drunk.
What's the ABV on it?
It's like, this is all we have. and it's a snowstorm outside. I'm stuck. Well, I guess I'll drink a house lager. It's delicious. 6 hours pass. I'm most likely going to have a really good buzz going. It's inevitable.
It's 5.2.
So, says the person...
Shut up, Chris. I know where you're going with this. Shut up, Chris.
Pounding Kolsch's on Kolsch Day at 42 North. Same beer over and over. In those awesome
that
10
was
ounce
under
or 8
certain
ounce
circumstances where my honor was on the line.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. To be fair, he wasn't doing it just to pound beers.
No,
I don't know what Chris has told you. I took on a family of 4 in a drinking contest.
At 42?
At 42 on Kolsch Day.
Solid drinkers, too. Craft beer fans. Not just like an average family or ones that were like, 2 of them are just sitting out drinking wine or something. Family 4, craft beer fans. And Dan won. He maintained the pace.
Law of averages, I won.
So this was an awesome experience. First of all, Kolsch Day at 42 North, awesome experience. They were actually walking around with pictures of it so that you didn't even have to go up to the bar. They would come to you, which I thought was fantastic.
Hole puncher, they punched the coaster. Fred was at my table almost every 5 seconds filling my glass. He's like, you want another one? And he would actually stand and wait while I pulled an archer move, and I just held my finger up, and I just
it was fantastic.
Tilted it back.
There was one time where, so there were about 6 people at our table or so. He came over, he filled up Dan's glass, and then he went and filled up 2 more glasses. By that time, Dan had finished, so he filled up Dan's glass again. He goes down to the other 2 people at the table. When he's done there, Dan had finished again, so he fills it up again.
Well, let's make it clear, these are not full pints we're talking about. These glasses average about, 10 ounces?
8 ounces.
It was 8?
Yep.
Okay, we were like looking at 5 ounce glasses. We're like, it's probably around an 10 ounce glass. So these were 8 ounce glasses. I mean, Alex, you work there, so you would know better than I. And it's a very light drinking beer. So I was like, I'm just literally putting liquid into my body. That's all I'm feeling here. So the family
until later.
No, I was golden, and we ended up going out for, dinner afterwards, and that was when it could have gotten scary.
Yeah, especially because you went out for Mexican after drinking that much.
Mexican to a restaurant that had 22 ounce pours of Southern Tier IPA for $4.
Woo! It was amazing.
It was beautiful.
Oh my god!
So the family we were with, the one daughter, she's like, I don't think you can drink more than the family, and I just kind of stared at her. I'm like, you serious? I'm like, challenge accepted. So by this time the family had shown up. They each had their 1 glass, so their card punched 4. My card had already punched in 4, so I'm going on to 5. So at one point I go, okay, hold on, where are you at? So I look at her card and I count down and I see she's got 12 punches. So I'm like, okay, you've each had 3 beers. I go to my card, I count down, I'm at 11. She goes, you're behind us. I said, en contraire. Because that gentleman over there...
He switches into French when he drinks.
Yes. I look at that gentleman, I point, I'm like, he bought me a free one. It's just not on the card. We're tied. I'm like, you're down. Each one of you are down by a lot. So...
There was a lot of math going into this.
So we figured out by the time it was all done, because they started to cheat, they brought in an extra family member, and they started putting everyone's beers on their card to beat my numbers. But when we came back down to it and the finished tally was there, I still won.
Impressive.
So, and the best moment for them was when I turned around to pay my tab, and they were gone. And I was like, where'd they go? I didn't even say goodbye. I was kind of hurt, you brought this about yourselves. And they told me later they had to get to a family gathering of some sort. But I saw them walking out to their car, so I opened the door of 42 North, and I put my fist in the air, and I said, a shame upon your family!
Yeah,
so I claimed
he
42 North.
with it.
Yes. I claimed 42 North as my house. It is under the clan of Dan now.
I forgot, you did claim it.
Yes, I am going to make up...
Loudly, for all to hear.
I'm going to make up magnets, and I'm going to slap my own crest upon the door of 42 North. I'm like, this is under the protection of Dan Law.
Dan Law?
Dan Law.
That sounds so frightening.
I kind of have a feeling they're going to take that down.
It's a magnet. It's not hurting anything.
That's why you buy in bulk.
I'm like, it's just a magnet. It's just a simple, nice, cool, crest magnet. I'm just going to slap it up there on the metal door.
You could
start doing it in all my ABW. Slap it up there.
carve a sign into the mailbox like the hobos do to denote
no
certain
destruction.
things.
No destruction.
They'll be like, "Oh, this is under Dan's protection. I'm gonna move on."
Just gonna start slapping it on every brewery I go to. Just slap that magnet up there. It's like this is under Dan law. Gonna make it a thing. Tag war.
Did you guys have any of the food while you were there?
Unfortunately, the sad part is that when we were there, they actually ran out of food.
Really?
They ran out of
sparse sausage.
Yeah, they ran out of sausages.
But the first thing to go was the sausages, and then they ran out of something else. I think after that it was the pierogies started to go. So and there was a little confusion with the ordering system. That was a miss-up, but it all turned out okay in the end. I got my pierogies and whatnot. Dan Park shared his sausage with me.
That was a kind gesture.
Delicious bratwurst of
but that is
sauerkraut and mustard.
That is one of the reasons we went to get huge helpings of Mexican food afterwards.
Yeah.
Was they ran out of the German food.
Yeah.
So
see what Mexican
onwards and upwards. All right, well, let's move on to the next beer here.
More beer.
All right, well, we just grabbed our next beer here, beer number 2. And, Alex, you can lead us off with this guy here. It's a collaboration beer.
It's a collaboration between Jack's Abbey and New England Brewing Company. It's called Beer Geek Helles, and it's really, really good.
Sticking with the Helles theme here from our last...
Absolutely.
Yeah,
sticking with the theme, but it is different.
It's very different.
Very golden color, but that hop.
Yeah, it's hopped up with Nelson Sauvin and Hallertau Blanc hops, which both come across like white grape.
Very kind of a wine characteristic to it. That's actually really nice. It's got a dry finish to it. If you're a wine connoisseur or a white wine lover, it's actually kind of a good beer to try.
Yeah, and we were talking about Pilsners and lagers in general being good entry beers for people who aren't really into craft beer. Well, if you're not into craft beer, but you are a wine lover, this might be a good entry beer for you, especially if you're into white wines.
Very true. Yeah, it's really nice.
The thing that we looked up with the hops is the gooseberry. It keeps mentioning the gooseberry when brought this, and all of us, we're like, we don't know really what a gooseberry is, and like, we were amazed to find out all these little tidbits about the gooseberry.
I thought they looked like tiny watermelons.
I said a lime, but apparently it's a very small lime according to Alex, and he fought me on this.
Or a very large grape.
I'm like, your term was, it looks like, well, about the size of 3 grapes, a lime. No, 3 grapes. I'm like, what?
Those are some big fucking grapes if you're going to make 3 grapes the size of a lime.
I mean,
so it's a small lime?
The diameter of 3
grape.
grapes is probably about the size of a lime.
Small lime. Yeah. So we did a bit of a deep dive with gooseberry. Looked into it a little bit. Found some pictures. And I looked it up on Urban Dictionary because, I mean, that's just what you do. Like most things, it actually does have a definition on Urban Dictionary. It's basically just like a third or a fifth wheel. Kind of annoying. Less exciting than some other definitions on Urban Dictionary, but there you go, gooseberry. On Urban Dictionary and in this Beer Geek Helles.
I think this might be the only time where if you went out to Urban Dictionary, it doesn't have, this day and age, it doesn't have a dirty meaning. Except apparently, according to, at least Wikipedia, gooseberry bush was a 19th century term that meant pubic hair. I'm like, okay.
It's people in the 1800s and their dirty, dirty minds.
So if you ever see a bottle of beer and they say that you get hints of gooseberry.
Not gooseberry bush. Because that'd be gross.
You can chuckle to yourself and remember this podcast fondly. When everyone else looks at you and they're like, why are you laughing when they said it smells like a gooseberry?
I'm just thinking of a hairy beer glass right now.
Yeah, so we should move on.
Yeah.
The images are disturbing right now.
Oh, gooseberries. So
the schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
The random gooseberry shit that we were looking up was just part of actually looking up information about the beer. And one thing I wanted to make sure to mention That's right, Knowledge Bomb. One thing I wanted to mention was Jack's Abbey has a fantastic website.
They really do.
mean, just the execution of it, the layout, the information they have. A lot of breweries don't include all their beers, or at least not some beers, or all, that. But this website is just fantastic. They have all their beers on here. It's laid out well.
I think I counted that right.
Yeah,
66 beers total.
Yes, because I wanted to see how many of them I had out of how many beers I had, and I think I'm at 18. So now I really do need to go to Massachusetts and be like, give me all your beer.
Yeah.
And unlike a lot of beer websites, it seems to be very kept up with. It seems like they're on top of it. Yeah, it's consistent.
Yeah, that's a good point. I am annoyed when I go to a brewery's, well, really any website, but beer podcasts will talk about breweries, and it just says coming soon or updates pending or whatever.
Oh, wait, that's right, because this beer was a collaboration with New England Brewing Company, and we wanted to go and look up to see if they had a little blurb of their own about the beer, and unfortunately, shame on you guys, their site is currently going through some tweaks, so I couldn't get any information about New England Brewing Company.
Yeah, but coming from what I'm guessing is a smaller company, they may be doing everything in-house. They might not be doing everything in-house and sending it off to someone else to maintain their website, so they're waiting for certain things to come back. We have no idea. It could have went down today.
True.
That's
Get a college kid. Pay him cheap.
Interns. Where are the interns?
Yes, unpaid interns.
Interns to me.
I want an unpaid intern right now.
Just walk into a college. Hey, where are your unpaid interns at? I need some to help me with brewing and websites and whatnot. I also like that they show which ones are actually available on their website. All their beer list has a little star with available next to it. So
yeah, I saw that too.
That's pretty useful. Although, to be fair, there are some on here that I'm pretty sure I've seen in beer stores.
Oh,
and are out right now.
The Framing Hammer has been out before. What was it? It was.
Of course, it might just be referring to what they're actively brewing, not so
Alex,
much.
you said you really wanted to try the triple, and I had said that ABW sold it, and that they had a bottle or two sitting around somewhere.
You know what? And as much as I would love to try it, if it doesn't say available right now,
it's not fresh.
Let's see. March, June, September, and December, they put it out, it says. So to me, I'm just like, is it... I'd rather wait for the September one instead of drinking the one from June, since it's a triple India-style lager. I want those hops to be as fresh as possible.
But they have the Berliner-style lager. They've put that up before. I've seen that running around. In one of our earlier episodes, the one we did with actually Greg Baker on Cellaring, we were drinking one by them, the Rye IPL, I believe it was.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
That was delicious.
We were drinking that in between the cellar beers.
Yes. Sibling Rivalry, I think it was.
Yes, that was it. They seem to really like Calypso hops.
I wonder if that's a hop that just happens to work really well with lagering and making lagers, or...
I don't know. I have never used Calypso in my brews, so
Is there a reason, or it just hasn't come up?
It has never popped up as a hop that I was like, oh yeah, I'll try that.
I like the fact that I'm
But
able to
maybe
go
it's
into
time.
their past
Maybe
beers,
it is time.
and I can say that I've had some of them, but I'm also sad when I look at them that there's some that I wish I could have tried. They've got the Hopstitution I've been lucky enough to have, and the Smoked Marzen as well.
The Private Rye sounds really good. It's a beer de garde, brewed with 30% rye.
The one I am most intrigued by, and I really want to try this, and I can't put these two together. I want to try the Baby Maker. Yeah, I like that name too. But it's a lager wine. That is their title.
I mean, we were comparing this beer to wine. I wonder if it's a similar makeup.
Aged for 9 months in bourbon barrels, previously used for Framing Hammer.
14%.
Aged for 9 months, and it's called Baby Maker.
The length process allows 14% ABV beer to mellow and develop a deep vanilla, almost honey-like sweetness and plum-like dark fruit flavors. The beer is a sipper. So you name it the Baby Maker.
So I'm guessing it's I'm guessing it's a barley wine that's lagered, aged in a barrel.
Yeah, that does sound like something I want to try.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Good for them. Plus, I mean, even though, so we mentioned that they only do lagers, and they do lagers really well, but that right there, if you're not super familiar with how beer is made, that's impressive in and of itself, because there's a lot of technical things that come into not only lagers in general, but the kind of stuff that they're doing with lagers, or the out-of-the-box lagers they're doing. I mean, you have to really know what's going on when you're brewing these to not mess it up and have it taste like foot.
Well, for three brothers that
nobody likes the taste of. Well, some people like the taste of.
Okay, yeah. There's a small market out there.
I don't think any of us like that.
Yeah. I'll pass on the foot.
Yeah, well, for three brothers that grew up apparently from a ice distribution plant, I'm like, so you like to keep things cold already? It's like this is born right into your blood for lagers.
That's true. Cold, and they have to be efficient. I mean, you can't let that get warm at all. You gotta have all your processes in place. So, two attributes that lend to brewing lagers.
I hope
with fermentation now, you have glycol jacketed, and you have glycol running through fermentation vessels, so it's easy to keep beers at the exact temperature. It's actually pretty easy now. But my big question about that Baby Maker is, how much yeast do they have to pitch for a 14% lager? Because normally you pitch almost twice as much yeast into a lager that you would for an ale. And if it's 14%, that sounds like a freaking buckets of yeast. I don't know what size their system is either, though.
I want to meet the three brothers' parents, and I hope that the first beer ever made was Baby Maker by their dad, and then that's how those three were born. And there's a story behind it.
I think we all know how the story ends.
Deliciously.
Oh. All right, well, let's go. Let's take a moment to collect ourselves and go on to our next Jack's Abbey beer.
And we're back.
He's right, we are.
And now back to our show, Bob.
Thank you, Dan. After those
no one will hear this part, so...
The next beer that we have is Sunny Ridge. It is a Pilsner, one of the most popular kinds of lagers that are out there. And like everything Jack's Abbey does that we talked about earlier, they killed the Pilsner as well. Or killed it with the Pilsner as well. Great beer. Low IBUs. Aromatic. Really fresh. Pilsners are just so drinkable, too.
I get like a nuttiness from it.
I don't think this is as dry as the Helles.
A nuttiness, you say? In the front, back, aroma?
Like mid-palate. But I agree, it doesn't finish as dry. It has a hint of sweetness in the back, too. It's still nice and creamy like the other two.
Yeah, it is creamy. So the lack of dryness, I don't really mind. I'm usually... I do like a bit of a sweeter Pilsner lagers. Not too sweet, but enough where it definitely cuts through, and you can tell that the sweetness is there. It's not just dry, so I'm not angry at it.
No. Once again, I would love to have this beer outside on a hot day, just like the other two. They're killing it.
Would you like to have it on a ridge, a sunny ridge?
On a sunny ridge, yes. Too many of them, no, because it's a ridge. I don't want to get too close when I'm hammered.
Solid safety tip, listeners. Don't be drunk near ledges or ridges.
Safety first.
No,
safety first.
Grab a parachute and then dive right in.
Or if you are going to drink near a ledge, make sure you're wearing a parachute. Good point, Dan.
Or a squirrel suit.
Ooh. If you're going to have a squirrel soup...
good luck learning how to do that when you're hammered.
Yeah.
Just open your arms and hope for the best.
Just... As you're falling, open your arms. While your arms are out, bring up your phone, look up YouTube, how to scroll dive, or whatever it's called. Learn real quick.
You've already hit the ground, Chris. You're dead.
When
maybe.
you're falling that fast, too, are you going to get a good signal? I mean, come on. How quick is that video?
Plus, then, I'm
That's
assuming
true.
to reach your phone at that angle, as soon as you close that arm flap, you're just going to start spin diving or something.
Oh, yeah, that's a key. Don't close your arm flaps. Or your leg flaps.
So you got to make a choice. You better have that phone out good and ready.
Oh, yeah. No. I'll be able to... You just put it in front of you. You're watching as you're making sure you're not hitting the ground. This can be done.
We'll test it one day.
We'll test it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That'll be... that's a bucket list. That's near the end of the bucket list.
Instead, how about this? I'd rather have this beer when the sun comes up or when the sun goes down. There. No ridges involved.
No ridges.
When the sun comes up, but you love your coffee beers when the sun comes up.
That's when I know I have to prepare for something. Like a Bills game.
So just an average...
Or BCTs. Yeah.
So just an average day, nothing specific going on. That's when you'd start with this beer.
So
why not?
On the topic of coffee beers, to start something, I was wondering, the very first Bills home game is a Thursday night game. I don't know that I'm going to want to get out of work and have a coffee stout. A big coffee stout like 1050. I might be breaking a little tradition.
And this is a home game, right?
It's a home game.
Will this be the first home game you've gone to where you don't precede it with a coffee
This
beer?
will be the very first one that I don't drink a 1050.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm wondering, do I just continue on with the tradition and suck it up and drink the 10.5% beer?
Well, for those superstitious fans out there, maybe try something different. Maybe don't have the coffee beer. We'll see if they
went
win.
8-8 last year, so
if we lose, I blame you and your drinking.
I'd say pick a new style. If they win, keep drinking that style until they lose.
It's true.
So be careful,
I love
because
that 1050 in the morning. And all the other games are going to be morning games.
Alex, do it for the love of the Bills. Sacrifice the 1050. 1050 goes, Bills win.
So what time's the game at?
8?
What
Yeah,
is an
8,
8 o'clock?
8:30.
I mean that time I'm drinking IPAs.
Well, I'll be heading there around 5.
I got it. You know what you drink? Stone Mocha IPA.
But for me, it's the coffee aspect of it that I don't necessarily want leading into
This gives you
an
everything.
evening game. But then again, it's an evening game, so do I need the coffee to stay up?
I don't think you're gonna get much of a caffeine buzz. You're just like...
Wait. Do you have to... Are you going to work the next day?
Yes.
Sadly, yes.
Okay. Are we going to cut this part out? Because you might have to call in sick the next day.
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. So yeah, you don't want to overdo it. To be fair, starting off with a 1050 and then keeping it there, that would be overdoing it.
Yeah.
Go big or go home, Alex.
I'm going to make it a game time decision. I'm going to have one available. And then when I'm throwing stuff in the cooler, it might come, it might not.
I like your style. You're going to a football game. You're going to do a game time decision.
Game time decision.
New Bill season, new era field, go big or go home. That's the season right now.
Let's think. What would Tyrod do?
Throw the bomb! Throw the bomb! The bamba.
Throw the bomb.
Drink a bomb!
All right, Tyrod. I'm drinking a bomb. Prairie bomb to start it off.
Tyrod!
For you. Dedication beer.
He throws the bottle onto the field. Someone trips on it.
It's for you, Tyrod.
What were we talking about?
Dan, you had a question that you brought up earlier, which I thought was an intriguing question regarding lagers and ales.
Oh, my question was, and I was talking to Alex, was we were talking about at least when I clarify beers in the notion of fermentation process, top and bottom fermenting, if between ales and lagers, we were trying to figure out what would be the equivalent to a pilsner in terms of lightness and things like that. And I think we started to go towards the pale ale, and then Alex had kind of an interesting thing. He kind of came up with the Kolsch, but you had said it was a hybrid.
Yeah, it's kind of a hybrid yeast that can be fermented at lower temperatures, like a lager, not as low as lager temperatures, but can be fermented at higher temperatures too, like an ale. Well, higher temperatures for ale yeast, but I don't know. I think when it comes to straight ales, I think a pale ale it would be a good substitute, depending on the type of pale ale.
And then from there, it's whatever your additions are that change the characteristics of the beer, obviously, and depending on what you've added, it might change the bitterness or not. So,
yeah, but I think I'd go with a Kolsch.
Now, is it just now? I don't know if it's just the names, but like House Lager, from Jack's Abbey, I've never really seen like a house ale or just. There's always I would love to try just no frills ale.
Well, I think that's what that is. And actually, from reading what it says on the website about this beer, the Sunny Ridge, this seems like a very classic German Pilsner.
I have noticed when it comes to their beers, they try and stick to a lot of tendencies of just everything is traditional in some way.
It seems
or they've done something traditional from
right, and then it seems like they also take those and then they do variations, especially around Framingham. I mean, how many variations do they have on their website?
Oof, a lot.
Yes, there are a lot on there. Different barrels, different things added. I thought a coconut one. Like, there's a lot of different things that they've done with it.
Smoked, everything. I mean,
right.
And I guess that's what we call fucking with tradition.
Fucking with tradition.
Tradition.
A lot of what they've done has been fucking with tradition.
Which is why I'm so excited about the next beer we get to drink, because it totally fucks up everything that you think about when you think of lager.
Well, why don't we grab that?
Yes, I really want this.
All right, so the beer that Dan was alluding to, that delicious, delicious beer that he loves, it is Excess IPL. And he's not wrong. It is delicious.
If you are a big fan of just those nice hopped IPAs, you will get this out of this can. And it is a lager, and it is amazing to me. This is... I've had this fresh. As soon as it came out, I got one can of it, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. When I thought of Jack's Abbey at the time, I was like, I've had their lagers pretty good. When I saw Excess IPL, I'm like, I expect great things, and I feel like I'm going to get let down. So I bought one can, and I was horribly mistaken. And unfortunately, went back to the bar, went to go grab some more, and bartender, he's like, yeah, I took the last 4-pack. I'm like, share?
Let's be friends. Friends share.
He did give me he gave me a sip of one can. I was like, more. But ever since that, he's actually kept up a good stock of it, and every time it's there, a 4-pack goes right into the fridge. And I almost bought a 4-pack tonight, but I have such an excess of delicious IPAs now that I'm like, you know what, this is just too much.
Have you ever had an excess of excess?
An excess of excess?
He drinks it too quick.
No, and that includes me taking this, and this was a shower beer for me, but it was not to excess.
It's been a while since those words have been uttered on this show.
I have actually sadly.
That's true. That has been a while.
Been falling behind on the shower beers. I've not had a shower beer.
No, I know you were delving into new areas like bath beers.
Oh, I had a bath beer. I've had shower scotch before. I've actually done a beer and a scotch at the same time in the shower.
Good for you, man.
That was a very stressful work day.
I bet it was a very unstressful end to the workday, though.
So what do you guys think? Because I know, Alex, you have not had this beer.
That's correct. It's really nice. It's nice and it's just piney, and there's a lot of citrus and slightly tropical. Along with all the other ones that we've had today, the body is nice and creamy once again.
I mean, now that you said that, that it does describe all the beers that we've had today from Jack's Abbey, and I can't really think of a lager I've had from Jack's Abbey that wasn't creamy. That was more of that, like, traditional, crisp, dry taste.
Right.
I mean, that I assume that's purposeful. If they wanted to make that, they could, but yeah, I can't really think of one that's like that.
Yeah, there's just a creaminess to all of them, which isn't a bad thing. I actually really enjoy it because some of these, and like they finish pretty dry and nice and crisp, but they still have that creamy character to them, which I really like.
It really helps differentiate it from the shittier lagers out there.
Yeah. Like
America from Budweiser, which we reviewed on a previous podcast episode.
Which I think I might still have some of. Because nobody drinks it.
That beer was not creamy.
I would say Budweiser, you might want to take a page from these guys, but then I realized I really don't want you to because you'll cheapen it.
Actually, I gotta give a shout out to Budweiser because they announced not a distribution beer deal, but some kind of deal with Craft Brew Alliance. Actually, it might just be for distribution, like some of that back end office stuff, not so much the brewing. And yeah, I have stock in Craft Brew Alliance, so it definitely helped the stock because lower overhead. So they're kind of leveraging that large Budweiser network and warehouse and all that back end stuff. So it's yet another interesting take for a craft beer company to go in.
Well, they just bought out someone else. I forgot who it was.
I heard it was Budweiser growing, which just made me a little upset, and then I just want to drink more of this beer.
Drink more excess to feel better.
Drink to excess. No, don't actually do that.
I forgot. AB InBev just bought someone, another big name brewery.
Solidarity. We need solidarity amongst the craft beers. Make your own alliance. That's what I say.
Yes. Kind of like Southern Tier and Victory.
Yes.
Perfect.
So there was some talk about AB InBev's purchase of SAB Miller recently. That might have been what you saw. Or it might have been an actual smaller brewery, but I'm not quite sure what that would have been. While you check into that, I was just looking up my history with Jack's Abbey and IPLs in particular. Another great IPL they had was the Hoponius Union. That one's actually pretty common. I see that around, which is great because it's a great beer. And I had that one back in 2013. I was quite pleased with it then, and I'm still quite pleased with it now. I had that just a couple weeks ago at a bar. They had it on tap.
I've only had this on draft once.
The Excess?
The Excess.
Was that Aurora Brewworks?
Yep.
Nice.
And it was so good. Just everything.
Devil's Backbone. That's who it was.
That's the brewery?
Yeah.
I do not know this brewery.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard of it.
They do a large festival every year. If I remember right, don't quote me on this, but some things went down for the festival this summer because of the purchasing of them. And since it wasn't going to be a craft beer and they weren't going to...
Didn't they get kicked out of their own festival? That's the article I read.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So this was announced back in April. So
yeah,
their summer festival.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah, that is kind of sad.
It's
especially
sad that another
so
one
close. Yeah, that's
so
true.
we created this.
Well, all right. With that, we are near the end of our episode, so we're going to close out with a segment of what I've been drinking. And what I have been drinking recently, thanks to a couple friends, shout out Jeremy and Adam, a couple friends were gracious enough to go to Vermont and bring back awesome beer from Vermont. So I've been drinking some of the Alchemist beer. In particular, Focal Banger, which I haven't had that often. And they brought back some Heady Topper as well. But that Focal Banger, that is bitter and abrasive and delicious. So I mean, if you get a chance to go to Vermont, or if you're a listener from Vermont, I envy you a lot because there's so many great breweries out there.
True. And I will join Chris on this because I also, too, received some beer from Vermont from both Adam and Jeremy. Thanks to them. But my favorite out of that is the Lawson's Brew Company. So I have been...
yes.
And I have an excess of Sip of Sunshine sitting in my fridge. But I also have a couple others because my fridge is overloaded with IPAs right now. So I have the Woodcock Brothers XPA, and actually I just picked up, just got released again, the Grim Afterburner. I think I got that right. So that is actually in my car right now, just waiting for me to drink that. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Nice. The Grim Afterburner, that's not from them, right? That's something you got local?
That is from...
The Grim Afterburner?
The Grim Afterburner.
They didn't bring that back from Vermont.
No.
I was going to say, Grim's
that's
not
not
around
local.
here.
No.
Oh, that's just one of the many IPAs that you have right now?
Yeah, I still got IPAs left over from BCTC. I'm still trying to...
These are all quality IPAs,
my fridge is so overloaded.
It's not just like a random IPA in your fridge.
There's Grim in my fridge. There's Lawson's. There's Heady. There's... I'm like, the Woodcock Brothers. I'm like, that's why I didn't buy the Excess. I was like, I'm good. I'm actually can say I'm good for right now.
Be honest. When you open up your fridge door and the light comes on, do you also hear angels sing?
Well, if you actually...
Do doves fly out?
Yeah.
If you actually go and you follow us on Instagram, Black Op Photo, you'll actually see a picture of my fridge at one point, and it looks like it's from the future, and it glows. So it does make me... So as soon as I open my door, I just kind of hear... and I shut it and do that a couple times.
Very nice. Alex, what have you been drinking?
Well, kind of like how Dan's fridge has been full of IPAs, my basement has been full of homebrew. And I've been kegging and bottling, and recently kegged an Imperial Porter that has been sitting in a bourbon barrel for quite some time. Blended a new one in, been drinking that, and I bottled off some mead. It's a semi-sweet mead that's aged with some Jim Beam soaked oak. And then just kegs and kegs of other beers that I've been brewing. I've been serving a few of them, served some at a wedding last weekend, and
oh, okay. I was going to say, I know, drinking a lot of your own homebrew is cool, but that sounds like a lot to just consume on your oon.
Oh, yeah,
but you've been taking
5-gallon kegs over the weekend, we're good.
Sounds like a good weekend to me.
Oh, you drank a 30-pack? I polished off a 5-gallon keg.
Just Alex is sitting on the back porch, kegging ice, giant squirty straw sticking out of his mouth, just...
Catheter hooked up so he doesn't have to get up. I mean, let's go full on decadent if we're gonna do this.
Finger in the air, just
I
saying, don't
don't know
disturb
if
me.
a catheter is decadent.
I mean, it's
I'd rather piss myself.
He's in the pool, so nobody knows.
Oh, there you go. Pools are usually half piss anyway.
That's true. Especially kiddie pools.
Oh, you're just in a kiddie pool.
That's just... Kids have no shame. Just all piss.
So anyways,
we'll leave you with that pristine image. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Definitely check out our website, yourbrainonhops.com. On Facebook, Your Brain on Hops, Twitter and Instagram. You can find us at Brain on Hops. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great
evening, night, day.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. Have a great one. And drink a beer. Cheers.
Join us next time. Same beer time, same beer channel.
Cheers.